All right, guys, welcome back to E3 All Access Live on Spike, the official broadcaster of E3. And if you have a habit of uncontrollably picking up trinkets to add them to your core of your being, you have a bit in common with the hero of Knack. Joining me right now is the games director and the lead architect of PlayStation 4, Mark Cerny. Mark, and you have a special guest with us as well from the Japan studio. Can you introduce our friend?
This is the producer of the title, Yusuke Watanabe.
Well, great. Nice to meet you as well. Well, Mark, thank you for coming over. I know you must be a little busy getting ready for tonight's big press conference, but this is a big E3 for PlayStation 4. You guys revealed back in February, and Knack was the first game that was revealed, but now you brought some brand new footage of Knack. How has it progressed since February?
Well, I mean, February mostly we showed the storyline and the world of the game, and at E3 we're taking this as a chance now to show some of the gameplay. So we brought 4 sort of mini levels from the game, so you can see the variety of what we're doing with it.
And one big reveal, that Knack has a voice.
Yes.
I didn't know this, but based on the footage in February.
Knack has a deep voice, let me tell you. So we have an actor, chest this big. I actually, when we were doing the recording session, I had a glass of water in front of me, and the whole Jurassic Park ripple thing was happening as he was doing his lines.
Not what I would expect from Knack.
Well, he gets very large, though. So you know, when he's cute, 3-foot-tall character, he doesn't speak much. He just follows people around and does what they ask him to do. But as he gets larger, his personality really develops.
As we can see here, I mean, one of the great things about Knack is he takes all these different forms, right? And he has these ability to transform. I wanted to ask you guys, in this game, as you play, can you transform at certain levels? Are certain transformations tied to those levels, or does he always have these abilities? How does that work?
So, I mean, a typical level, Knack will start small for plot reasons usually, and then by the end of the level he'll be much larger. But and there's a lot of styles to that. He can take 30 minutes and slowly get larger, or I think you were just seeing him pick up icicles and incorporate them into his body.
I love that. That's a Crash Bandicoot moment if I've ever seen one right there.
Crash Bandicoot. And sort of become the abominable Knack. And so the thing about that, though, is when you're picking up icicles, you get big very fast, but if you go out in the sun, then you melt back down. So you have to be very aggressive once you get out in somewhere that's well lit. So you can take out the enemies before you melt down to size.
Now, tell us about working with the Japan studio, because Mark's a little busy with working on PlayStation 4. So what has the collaboration been like?
So the teams in Japan, they don't speak English. We have about 100 people there now at the studio, some great guys. We have the lead background artist from Shadow of the Colossus. So a lot of the very soft look of our world comes from that art team. There's also, I love Japan, there's this fine arts background. Watanabe-san, actually, his family for generations has been tea ceremony masters.
Wow.
Watanabe-san no otaku wa, nandai, sado no, ie, moto, tsuzukimasu ka?
13代目でございます。
13 generations. 250年ですか?
そうです。
13 generations.
13 generations.
Well, we're honored to do it.
250 years of tea ceremony masters, and he's the oldest son.
Wow.
So he wasn't supposed to be making these games. He was supposed to be following Dad and doing tea ceremony. なぜ250年続くことできたと思いますか?
いや、やっぱりおもてなしの精神じゃないでしょうか。
The spirit, oh God, they always do this, it's untranslatable.
Right.
Because there weren't video games back then, right? So the oldest son really didn't have much choice but to follow Dad.
Now he's making video games.
But this is really how our team is. I mean, we have this beautiful old Japan thing with that artistry and that skill all coming in, and you can really see it in the vivid worlds and the detail that we're putting into the game.
Yeah, well, it looks beautiful. I mean, it's the kind of classic, you know, Sony game that we love the first-party studios to do, and you guys do such a diversity of games with Shu Yoshida and all the studios across the board. Just played Last of Us, which is phenomenal. I mean, I can't wait to see all the things that are going to be on PlayStation 4. So let me ask you, I mean, about PlayStation 4. Obviously, this is a big moment for you. You've seen what Xbox did this morning. What can we expect later today, Mark?
I think you're just going to have to wait and find out.
But it's going to be very exciting, I think. We're going to see a lot of stuff. I mean, how does it feel to be working on this PlayStation 4? I know that, you know, you architected this as well, so in some ways, you know, I'm sure a lot of the decisions now allow you to do things in Knack that you were hoping to be able to do on a hardware system.
I mean, I have to say it was just surreal being on both at once. So for the hardware, we'd have meetings about power consumption and circuit delays where you'd be looking at trillionths of a second. And in the next meeting, we're sitting around looking at the script saying, you know, guys, this isn't funny enough. Let's see how we can punch it up. Those are two very different sides of your brain that you're using there.
What are you able to do, though, with Knack? You know, why is this a PlayStation 4 game and not a PlayStation 3 game?
Well, you know, PlayStation 4, it's so easy to develop for. It saved us about a year overall. So we could have a concept like with the character where we wanted to have the character driven by a 5,000 part physics sim. And it just wasn't that hard to put that together and see what that would look like. So just the pace of development, I think that much faster pace of development on PlayStation 4 is really going to result in much richer games as a result.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully we'll see a lot of those later today at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You guys will be on stage. Hopefully we'll see more of Knack and all the other great PlayStation 4 games. And it sounds like a hardware reveal as well. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see more from PlayStation 4 as the story continues.